Well, we're almost halfway through the Asia Cup, and it's quite disappointing to see that we haven't been able to see a full game of India as well as a few other matches which we've also missed out on as well. And it's बहुत frustrating हो रहा है. As an Indian fan, you want to see cricket played, and it's not really nice to have the experience of losing out on games like Pakistan versus India, जैसे उस दिन हुआ. फिर उसके बाद नेपाल के against भी we lost so many overs that we didn't even see the full Indian batting lineup, chased down 230, which is quite a respectable score that was put up by Nepal. And kahin na kahin, you have to take BCCI responsible for all of this fiasco. We could have easily gone to Pakistan, played the games there. Security issues the. Dubai mein bhi India ko nahi khelna tha. Sri Lanka mein the areas where kind of were proposed in the first place to be said to be safe and away from floods. India was like, nahi, hum log ko wahan pe bhi nahi khelna hai. And India had to play. They only had Colombo and Pellekeli as the two options that they wanted to play in, and then those were the two key areas of the flood. So it doesn't make any sense why India is doing all of these kind of sort of things leading right up to the World Cup, because the last thing you want to do is play in conditions which are favorable to you and not be able to expand your skill set, not be able to learn those new conditions. Because if you play in conditions where you're not good at, maybe Sharjah we're talking about the ground that was selected in the first place to be played at in Sri Lanka. Those two grounds, India doesn't have a great record in those, but if they would have gone there, would have took up the challenge, because relatively, आप Asia Cup की squad देखो, आप World Cup की squad देखो, almost same है. So those players would have gotten some sort of experience leading up to that World Cup, and it's disappointing. It's disappointing क्योंकि सारे games wash out हो रहे हैं, सारे important वाले, and then Sunday का game as well, India Pakistan. It's been reported that वो भी wash out हो ही जाएगा mostly, और अगर wash out नहीं होता, it will be a very short game, and obviously it's not considered an ODI or a proper ODI game unless there have been 20 overs bowled by both teams minimum. So we might even lose that game as well, which is quite embarrassing, because the last thing you want to do is have India Pakistan make it to the final on the basis of rain. And kahin na kahin, because Pakistan have already won against Bangladesh, they can get a draw against India and they'll be kind of secured to get into the final, and India will just win against Bangladesh or Sri Lanka and secure their spot as well with that one odd point that they might get. So it's वो टूर्नामेंट फिर नल एंड वर्ड हो जाता है जहाँ पे सारी टीम्स आर क्वालिफाइंग ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रेन पॉइंट्स, and which is quite disappointing to see. So I think that's something that the BCCI should have looked into, and at the same time discussing Pakistan and then the cricket that's been playing around. I think it's quite impressive that their bowling lineup that they've brought to Sri Lanka, Haris Rauf, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, the spinners as well, they're doing so well. And once the World Cup starts, I must say Pakistan will be a good side and a side to reckon with, because they've got the spin which is required in Indian pitches, and then they've got the pace to back it up with in the opening overs and the end overs that you kind of need, because Shaheen Shah has got the skill to kind of swing the ball in the first 15 overs in any conditions. And I've seen that in Australia, I've seen that in England, I've seen that in Dubai, I've seen that now in Sri Lanka and Pakistan as well. So there is no doubt that Shaheen can make a great impact over there. And then in terms of the spinners, हाँ ठीक है, India के against maybe Sri Lanka में इतना अच्छा नहीं खेला, but Sri Lankan pitches are not more or less known for very highly being spin oriented pitches, whereas some of the pitches where Pakistan are playing, like Eden Gardens, I think one of them, Ahmedabad, these are pitches where spinners tend to do kind of really well. Ashwin ka record Ahmedabad mein amazing है, just because of how the soil is set up over there and how the fielding is set up. So it'll be good to see how it goes around, but I'm really disappointed with the way the Asia Cup has been handled and the way it's been all organized, because realistically the last thing you want to do is travel between two countries every now and then and still have games washed out, because Pakistan just played a game against Bangladesh today. They're going to come fly to Sri Lanka on Thursday, practice on Friday, Saturday the game might wash out Sunday, and then they'll have to head back for another game. So it is very, very disappointing to see all of this happening. I think this is something that the Asian Cricket Council should have looked into way ahead of its time, held it somewhere where it was fine for all the teams to kind of play. TK, maybe India doesn't want to go because of security issues, but it doesn't make sense that you can allow Pakistan to come to India, but you wouldn't send your own players. We've seen Australia go, we've seen New Zealand go, we've seen England go, nothing's happened. They're a country trying to promote cricket and being the richest board and being responsible to represent not just India but cricket on a global level. You need to take the responsibility and say, okay, we're going to be the first ones, we're going to advocate you guys running international cricket in Pakistan again. But yeah, extremely disappointing to see all of that happening. Let us know what your thoughts are on this, and follow us for more videos like this throughout the cricket season and the World Cup coming up soon. Subscribe for more content, follow us on our podcast channels, add us to your playlist for more daily content like this, and I'll see you guys next time.